Away. Hello and welcome everyone to Digistore and to the ASE Edit Royale 2019. This is the third one. I guess the first question is, are we ready to edit? Excellent. I'm Mark Richards. I'm Digistore's marketing manager. We've been a proud sponsor of the ASE now for many years, and it's our pleasure to be able to once again host and stream this evening's event. So it is live streamed. So of all the hopefully more, that are watching this live stream, remember, you're being beamed out to the world. So we are serving drinks, but behavior is important. Thanks to AWS Elemental, who's doing the streaming encoding, and AWS Cloud Services for hosting the stream tonight. Digistore empowers customers through smarter technology and service solutions. We sell the systems that editors like all the people here today use to create, and we supply the technology and services that allows places where you work to take those creations to the air, to the internet, and to the world. I'd like to thank Greg Taylor there, who's our engineer tonight, for technically coordinating this event. Thank you, Greg. If anyone's interested in how he managed all of this, we have put some configuration sheets down there, and we're hoping to bring Greg up for a brief interview during tonight's presentations to talk to us about how all that came together. So switching between 5 editors, live cameras, microphones, and making sure all of that streams effectively is no small task. If anyone has any questions about live streaming and how all of this is put together, by all means ask me or any of the other Digistore team that you see, or have a chat to Greg through the night. A couple of items of housekeeping. We have 2 sets of toilets if you haven't found them yet. One at reception, behind the reception desk. There's a sign on the wall there where they are. And then if you follow down the hallway and go round to the right by the posters, there's another set there. So I know this toilet sign is stuck on the Avid poster, and someone said, are they just Avid toilets? No. It's where their general use, whether you're Premier or Avid, doesn't matter. Even Resolve users can use those toilets. Please avail yourself of the food and drink. There's 2 booze fridges, one in the kitchen and one in the conference room out that way. So help yourselves. Choose what you'd prefer and don't hold back. You're welcome to wander in and out of the competition room and bring drinks and food. There's no problem like that. We have 2 pizza deliveries tonight, one at 7 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. So share. Don't think just because they're getting low at the 7 p.m. you're not going to get any pizza. There'll be another one at 8 o'clock. If the competitors have runners and helpers, then is the time to grab a slice for them and bring it over and help them out. So competitors, don't be frightened to ask when they arrive. We've got a number of helpers here. Obviously, all the Digistore folks generally have the Digistore name tag, so ask them if you need anything or need any help or just have any general questions. Sarah's here, ex from Digistore. She'll be wandering around and helping out. So again, ask Sarah for questions as well. So thank you, Sarah, for that. We have, for those that couldn't make it, we do have a live streaming page, and in fact that's what's showing in the conference room is a feedback for what the live stream's going out to the world. It's about 90 seconds behind, so you hear a woo in here, 90 seconds later, woo in that room over there, but that's the nature of live streaming. On the Digistore's webpage, there's a direct link to that live stream for anyone that wants to watch live. There's an #EditRoyale hashtag, so if you want to take photos, share them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc., by all means use that hashtag and add your comments and pictures as you go along. That's it from me. Have a fabulous night tonight. Ask us if we can help with anything at all, and I'd like to hand over to our MCs for the evening. Scott.
Welcome everyone. This is probably my favorite editing event of the year. So for those who have not been to Edit Royale before, what it essentially is we have 5 editors. They all have the exact same footage, and they have 2 hours to put together something incredible. They have a selection of tracks supplied by Audio Network that they have to kind of use as a base to kind of put it together. And at the end of it, we'll be judging them through the very sophisticated clap method to see who wins. Cool. Shall we introduce?
So, hi, my name's Sally Fryer. I'm a long-form editor. So, and I haven't met any of the contestants tonight, but I'm going to ask Stephen Love to put his hand up. Hello, Stephen. And I'm just going to read very, very quickly what Stephen wrote. He said, having initially begun his editing career in Adelaide, Stephen headed to London for a few years, but loved the warm beer and weather so much he decided to stay for a couple of decades. Back in Australia, working in Sydney for the last year, Stephen's been undertaking high-altitude training in preparation for winning the much-coveted Golden Scissors. And as a spectator, I had so much fun at last year's event that I just had to throw my hat into the ring this time round, ruthlessly non-competitive. So even if I don't win, I know it's going to be a fun night with ASC peers, and I'm guaranteed to drink a lot less than last year. Lily is the next person. Hi, Lily. Lily trained at AFTRS, and she's been working with the editors full-time since 2016, passionalising cutting short drama and documentary. In 2017, her short film Fenced won an ACTRA award in the social short category. Well done. She's had short films screened at Flickerfest, St Kilda Film Festival, Mardi Gras Film Festival, and more. And in her spare time, she enjoys watching Buffy reruns. I thought it said Fluffy for a minute. Buffy reruns, sorry. Ange. Hi, Ange or Angie? Either or. Okay, either or. Ange is pretty lucky in that at 13, she already knew what she wanted to do, which was to edit. She edited montages through her teens and then directed and edited short films at uni. She went on to work at a production company as a media I/O and edit assistant, whilst also editor of smaller online brands and campaigns. Aside from that, she likes a cheeky wine and listening to music and patting dogs. I'm with you on that one. Emily, I've got next on my list. Hi, Emily. Emily is an editor currently working for Channel 9's Wild World of Sports, cutting features and colour pieces for the NRL, State of Origin, Australian Open Cricket and Netball. She's also worked as a graphic artist, producer and director assistant on several other television projects. Just got to find page 2. With Optus Sport, NBN Television and 180 Digital Post, she loves to combine skills in editing, graphic design and animation to tell innovative, creative stories. When she isn't in the edit suite, you can find her on the basketball court or gaming. And the last person is Alexander. Gutierrez. Started editing career in Brazil, been living in Sydney long enough to call it home. He's representing his people in the competition, though, and hopes to make them proud. And he's sure his parents will be proud of him. There you go. So those are our 5 competitors.
All right, so what will these kids win if they snag it? Well, the person who wins gets the coveted Golden Scissors for the year. They get 2 tickets to the Alleys, 12-month subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud, a perpetual license to Avid, DaVinci Resolve, and a whole bunch of other swag. And the other remaining contestants will also get a copy of Resolve and a bunch of other stuff. But for you, the watchers, we have a whole bunch of lucky door prizes to give away. We have, courtesy of Digistore and Boris, we have a subscription to Boris Continuum, Sapphire and Mocha, valued at $1,950. Which is pretty amazing. We have another version of DaVinci Resolve to give away, courtesy of Black Magic Design, and also a Wacom tablet, courtesy of Wacom to give away. Plus an Adobe book, courtesy of Adobe, and a whole bunch of lots of other little things.
So we've got 12 minutes to go until countdown. Woo-hoo. But I think we should have a little break so people can get a drink beforehand. I'm just going to mention that at some point during the night, nominally half-time, but we don't really know where that is, Andrew Brinsmead over there is going to be interviewing Brad Hurt, who's over there in the who's one of, I'm told this evening, one of Australia's best music video editors. So we're going to hear all about your work, which will be absolutely brilliant. And after we've heard from Brad, we're going to hear from Gabriel, who was one of the contestants from last year. Is Gabriel here? Who's there? who's going to tell us what he's been doing since over the last year. Since did you weren't, I was just about to say you weren't winner last year, but you were almost winner last year. Okay, and then I think you're going to thank major sponsors.
Yes, so before we kick off, this evening would not be possible without obviously Digistore and Danielle from the ASC, but also would also like to thank Adobe and Avid and Audio Network for providing the music, and Black Magic for prizes, and Videocraft for supplying the cameras, and I think that's... Oh, and Wacom. Yeah.
And also, I think Australian Screen Editors, the ASC, would love as many of you to sign up and become members of ASC if you're not already members as possible tonight. And I think there are some cards around somewhere, Fiona? Yes. Yeah, so grab one of those and join us.
We'd love to have you on board.
Yeah. So I think we should maybe just... I'm going to go and get a glass of wine, and then we'll do the countdown just before 7 o'clock. You guys should make sure you've got all you need for the next 2 hours. Okay.
All right, 20 seconds. All right, everyone. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Edit! All right, well, editing is a very thrilling thing to watch, as you can see. There's a lot of mouse clicking and tapping and watching. But why don't we have a talk to some of these audience members and see how they think it's all going to kind of pan out. Hello, what's your name?
Nick.
Nick, is this your first time at the Royale, or?
It is my first time. I'm very excited to see what happens here.
Right. So, how do you think you would go if you were to like have 2 hours to edit footage you'd never seen before?
I'm very slow and I like to sleep on my ideas, so I think I would be very unsuccessful. I'm not very good at working to a deadline.
Do you perhaps be a good exercise to kind of?
I think spectating is the better exercise because I get to see their methods, their systems of kind of processing this in such a quick time. So.
Right. And would you use Avid or Premiere?
I use Premiere. I don't have the privilege of using Avid, unfortunately.
Privilege?
Yeah, professionally I work in production rather than post, so I edit independently.
And are you a mouse boy or a Wacom man?
I'm a mouse guy.
Mouse guy. Ah. Yes, I used to be a Wacom man myself, but then I had to switch back to the mouse because of injury. Yeah, it's fun.
I'm very excited to hear that they're offering a Wacom tablet.
Yeah, maybe it's a chance to get into it. Get into like that.
Get into it.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like, kind of just get into it. Cool. All right. Cheers. Right. Yeah. We'll alternate. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go over and follow the girls, of course. Emily. Is this your first time you've been here to Edit Royale?
Yes.
Yeah. And are you an editor or a student?
Editor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you working?
And the Shine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. What are you working on?
I don't know if I can tell you that.
Okay. Keep it a secret.
Yeah.
And what sort of length are the things that you're working on?
Oh, TV.
Okay. Okay. And would something like this scare the living daylights out of you? Or?
No, because at university I was doing some switching, so it doesn't really scare me, but it's interesting to see how it works in a more professional environment. And yeah.
And are you an Avid girl or a Premiere girl or both?
Well, I was more a Premiere person, but I'm just starting to get into Avid, and I'm really liking Avid, so maybe both.
And how many editors do they have at Endemol Shine at the moment?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't know, depending on the the show.
Production, yep,
Yeah, the
yep.
production or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Yeah, so the last contract I had was like 7 assistant editors.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So you've got a good long contract there now?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Continuing. Yeah.
And you're going to guess who might win tonight?
I'm gonna maybe Stephen. Hoping Stephen.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Stephen personally.
All right. Okay, so that's one big fingers crossed for Stephen.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, lovely. Okay. I'm going to hand back to you. Thank you.
I had so nervous.
All right. Still going. Hey, it's your first Edit Royale?
Yes, first edit Royale. Yeah.
Well, so many first timers. What do you think you would do if you were competing?
It's in my process. How would I sort of go about it? I don't know. I guess sort of get a bit of a feel for what sort of footage I'm dealing with, what the general vibe is. Is there like it's a narrative cut, right? Like they're sort of given a bit of a storyline or something, are they? Or
I have no idea what the footage is. Like, I'm just seeing it now for the first time here. Just kind of, it looks like it's a bit narrative-wise. I think.
some boxing, there's a little bit of some beautiful greenery grass shots and a girl on a school bag.
I think the editors in the previous years who did really well were able to build a bit of a story and find those kind of like iconic moments to make it like less of a random montage.
Yeah. It's good to see process.
Would you use Premiere or Avid?
This is controversial. I would have actually gone the Resolve way, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I've only just started using it. Only just recently, and I think for this sort of thing, it's rather perfect actually.
Yeah, right. What's I've not edited on Resolve. How does it different?
It kind of, to be honest, it's a speed thing. I find a lot to do with sort of time remapping and keyframing motion, things like that. It does really quick. It's a lot of sort of context-based actions and things, depending on sort of where you are in your timeline and what you're doing. So I'll kind of sit somewhere between like Premiere and something like Final Cut X, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it's good. It's good. We were actually we started using it at the moment for a new show we're cutting. So we're taking this big leap in a 37 episode, 24-minute show, and using it on like big scale kind of thing.
Right. What type of show is it?
It's kids like comedy, I suppose. So yeah, 24-minute scripted, and working with a few different people sort of remotely and stuff. So it's sort of it opens up the workflow and the process. Whenever too locked down, I don't know what you know too much about it, but you can work within sort of the audio space and the grading space and graphics space sort of interchangeably, and so you never locked down at any one point. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting platform.
Oh, really neat. Yeah, I've only ever used Resolve in terms of like a coloring and or a transcoding rushes kind of way, but they seem to keep adding stuff to it.
They really do. Yeah. Kind of for better or worse in some ways. You know, like they throw a lot of shit at it, really. But it works really well. It does. I definitely recommend sort of giving it a visit. Yeah.
I'm one of those like old fuddy-duddies that actually I really like my software to do as little as possible.
Yes.
Because I prefer it to be real simple.
Yes.
Do you feel like it resolves quite simple, or it's quite?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're totally like it's got to be invisible, right? Like you don't want to be thinking about it or like having to go this way or that way. But no, definitely. I think it does a lot of things, and it's quite. I find it to be quite intuitive, really. So yeah, it's quite good for that sort of stuff.
Oh, it's been a very interesting conversation. Thank you very much.
No, it's welcome.
We'll keep going. All right. Perhaps we can find someone who's actually been to the Royale before. Oh,
do we get one each?
Oh, we can have two microphones.
Woohoo!
Whoa.
Okay.
Has anyone been to the Royale before?
Okay, I'm coming. Yeah, come out here. That's great. Elena. You can hold it. I've got mine in my hand. Have you competed before at the Royale, or you?
I was the first winner of the Edit Royale.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo!
Go women.
That was brilliant.
When I entered, I was the only girl to.
Okay. I was wondering how many women there will be here tonight. It's really good to see.
Yeah, so I'm really happy there's like more women editors
Yeah, me too.
like here, which
Yeah.
is really rare, but yeah, it's awesome.
And are you still doing so? Did you love the thing that you edited in that night? Did you really? Or when you look back, do you go, oh?
Well, I brought my whole office here,
Okay.
and they all wanted to watch it in the boardroom, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen it since like in a couple of years, but yeah.
And
But
what did they think?
They loved it, I think.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
And are you doing music videos now? What are you doing now?
I'm doing a range of things, just a lot of short form TV commercials and mostly TV commercials and a lot of online stuff.
Okay. And enjoying it?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's
And
really
you
fun.
do all of those within who's the company that you work
We
for?
work at DMC Digital in Crowsnest, so just up the road. So it's
perfect.
great, yeah.
No, I missed time because I'm working in Royale and I missed time getting here tonight because it was really shit traffic. And what was your prize the first year? Can you remember?
It was an Avid t-shirt,
Oh, so the prizes have got much better.
some chocolates, a mouse pad.
Do you know whether you're allowed to compete again or if you've competed once, does that?
I've heard some whispers they're going to do an All-Stars,
Oh, fantastic.
but last year's winner was really good, so I'm a bit nervous. But
I think maybe next year we should introduce a moment where we watch all the past winners. So I'm hoping yours is archived. And do you use Premiere or Avid?
I use both, but I use both, but more Avid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Right. Thank you,
Thank
Marina.
you. Nice to meet you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Mr. Scott.
All right.
I'm a fast interviewer.
You're right, you're a quick talker. All right, well, we have Jordan here. I'm going to just grab her before she has a chance to run away. We were just talking about how we would approach it. Do you want to talk, Jordan? Jordan's a great editor. She works on a lot of commercial stuff. Do you want to talk about how you would approach this challenge?
So I was thinking I probably would have chucked all the footage on a timeline, scrubbed through it really quickly just to see what's there, if there's an obvious kind of pattern in the story or anything. And then I was thinking I would pick the best song, find maybe like the chorus in it, and then go back and find the media that kind of like stands out or looks like the most kind of like epic or interesting bit that would fit on the chorus. And then I would probably go and fill everything in around it and then kind of like fill in the fluff kind of and massage from there, I think.
You're right. And how would that differ from... Oh my God. How would that differ from your normal process? Like when you have more time? Like how would it be different to...
I think if I had more time, I'd probably spend more time just looking for the story in the footage and maybe like making better selects probably. As this time I kind of just rush and be like, this will do for now and just kind of throw it in there to have an assembly done. Like I think I would just be working towards getting something down and then later trying to be like, okay, this could be better or...
I think I would actually be the opposite. I think I would try and make worse selects and like embrace the chaos. Like I really love trying to find stuff that is unexpected and unpredictable, you know, and it's really, you get these like really fun moments when you just like smash ideas together and just see like kind of what kind of comes from it.
Kind of average stuff being like, oh, I know this is bad, and then later going back being like, well, this is clearly better, and then like polishing at the end. But for structure-wise and speed, I feel like structure is always the most important bit. So I'm like, get that down first.
Yeah. No, that's very, very right. I think it's also what you're saying there just before about just getting something down. Like so often, just trying to get something perfect doesn't stops you from actually progressing.
You get stuck in a loop, and then you're like, oh, and then you somehow only have like a tiny chunk done.
You just have to live with it being crap because you're like, oh, it can be better, and it's all it on. Yeah. So, would you use Avid or Premiere to cut this together?
For this, I would have done Premiere. Yeah. I don't know why. But stuff like music videos, I prefer to do in Premiere. If it's like doco stuff, I do Avid, but. If I wanted to do any like kind of cool effects or titles, I find it way easier in Premiere. I don't really like Avid's title toolmaker or anything like that, so I would just prefer to do any animations in Premiere.
Yeah, right. Cool. Was there any do you have any go-to effect or trick that you would use in Premiere?
Not really. I just find time ramping a lot easier in Premiere, and I feel like this could be the kind of thing where time ramping is going to get used a lot.
Cool. Well, I think we lost the cameraman, so I think it might be almost time to check in with how everyone's going. So shall we go have a look at our contestants? Before we go, we should have a look at the screen. Everyone can see kind of everyone's screens, so it's quite interesting to see everyone kind of shaping together.
Are you handing over to me?
Have a bit of a.
Yes, we can. They've only been going for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, if you want to talk to someone else.
Yeah, young guys here.
So then we were having a little bit of a but we found some other
I thought we should just talk to Danielle, who's organised this event for the last 3 years, I think. And Danielle herself is an editor. How does this year stack up compared to previous years?
Look, it's really it's an exciting event. I love it. It's super fun, and I think it tends to engage emerging editors who are really passionate to kind of have a chance to show what they can do. Some of them are working as assistants, and it's nice for them to have a chance to kind of dive into the creative. The other unique thing about this is that they don't need to worry about what the director or the producer or any of the stakeholders want. It's just about what they want, and I think that's really lovely for them as well. You need a break? You all right? So they all get the same rushes, but one of the lovely things about it, which we were speaking about earlier, is that, of course, you give the same shots to a number of editors, and they're all going to find different things. So at the end of the night, looking through the 5 edits and seeing how differently people have interpreted the footage is one of the highlights of the night. I think it's really exciting.
I think so too. And I think you also so they've all got exactly the same rushes, and I think you gave each of them 4 different music tracks. And were they, I guess they could be commercial tracks you've just picked.
So we've been really lucky. Our sponsor, Audio Network, has provided all of the tracks for us. They've got a beautiful selection of material. So there are some vocal tracks, some instrumental tracks. They cover various genres. So there's some kind of some of the edits may be sort of reasonably kind of rocky and rough, and others might be more folky, and some of them might be kind of sort of more alternative, I don't know, romantic. Who knows? Who knows what they'll choose? But they get a range of vocal, instrumental, various genres, and they can just pick whatever they want, and there'll be no two the same.
And can you tell us a little bit about where the rushes came from and what their content is, what there is?
Yes, I can. Now that they're all looking at it, the rushes were provided by a company called Tribal Apes. They're fantastic. They do a lot of music videos and online content and great stuff. Bruce and Lawrence Lim run the company. Lawrence is a producer, but he's also a director and a cinematographer, and he cuts. I've cut for him a couple of times, and I approached him to try and get some rushes for a job that he produced that I cut a couple of years ago. We couldn't get those rushes, but he offered me these ones, and they're great. It's essentially a female empowerment story. A young girl who's being bullied after school sees a bunch of women going into a gym of some kind. She follows them in and is encouraged by them to come in. Turns out it's a boxing studio. They learn, they're all kind of learning how to box. They teach her.
Brilliant.
At the end of the clip, she stands up to the bullies. And also throughout the clip is her as an older girl, as a young woman, now being quite a good boxer, and there's another young girl who sticks her head in and she encourages her to enter. So it's a really lovely...
That's beautiful. And do we know were they actually used for a commercial purpose before?
It was a coincidence.
Right.
So she was one of the winners of... She was a winner of Idol or The Voice, I think. And this was one of her music videos. and so Lawrence Lim directed it, and I think he also cut the clip. So yeah, we've taken out the stuff of Corey singing, but yeah, they've got the rest of it to play with. Thank you.
We might go and talk to some of the we might go and talk to some of the competitors now, and you can have a break, Mr. Cameraman.
All right, we're gonna check in on how our contestants are going. Shall we start with Mr. Stephen?
Absolutely.
How's it all going?
It's going well, actually. Thank you very much. I initially approached it. I was going to start clipping. I was going to take a subtractive approach to it, but I've had to actually engage with it in an additive sort of way. A bit of a conventional narrative here, really long rushes because it's all shot slow motion. So I'm looking for to try and create a unique narrative. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing how it all turns out. Are you finding the footage is easy to work with or quite challenging?
No, I think the footage looks good. It's good quality. There's good characters, lots of interaction. So I think I'll be able to make something of it.
All right. Well, we won't take up too much of your time. You better keep cracking.
And I'll go over to Lily. Lily. Hi. Probably in the middle of something. How's it going?
Really well. I'm loving the rushes so far, which is a great start.
Did you watch the rushes first, or did you listen to it? Did you pick a music track to begin with?
I picked a music track to begin with, although I had to go back and check whether I thought it was okay after actually looking at the rushes. And I sort of raced through them. I usually would love to actually watch them, but I did race through everything.
And where do you think you're at? Do you think, time-wise, you think you're going well for time?
I probably wasted a little bit too much time
Scrubbing through, but pick it up now. Well, I won't stay around to delay you anymore. Get back in there.
Thank you.
All right. We have Angie here. How are you finding the edit so far?
Really good. I don't know. I don't know if it's the adrenaline, the beer, the wine. Who knows at this point? But I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah.
So do you have a plan of attack that you're executing?
Yeah, so the first thing I did was I quickly scrabbled through, looked at what characters, what's the theme, what's the style, and then from there went to the music, and I immediately connected with one of the pieces of music, and so I went back to the rushes, did my selects, and now I'm ready, got my assembly done, and I've got my acts.
Oh, wow.
As you can tell, I'm a vivid note taker, so I've already built up what I want to do with each moment, so that's why I guess I'm feeling confident, because I've already kind of outlined what I want to do.
That's really great that you've cut on paper, that's...
Like I've cut on steam decks before, but I think this is like the next level back.
There you go, you don't need fancy tools. Anyway, we'll leave you to it.
Okay, back to me again, I think. Okay. Emily, hi, sorry to interrupt you. How are you going?
Yeah, good so far, I think. Gone through most of the footage and sort of got a structure for what I'm trying to tell in the story, I guess. And a few sort of visual ideas for the look and that sort of thing to aim for and stuff like that. So, feeling pretty good.
And how hard was it to choose between the 4 music tracks?
It was pretty easy. I lean towards a certain style of music, so so I don't know. I just go with my gut. So once I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that's the one I'll be using. Yeah.
Is it fast or slow? Can you tell us?
Faster than the other options. Yeah.
Well, good luck. I don't want to delay you for too long in case you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Oh, there we go.
And lastly, we have Alexandre. How are you finding the edit so far?
It's cool. A lot of pressure. Yeah. But just looking at the clock and the timeline at the same time. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Do you have a direction that you're going to go in?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've just sort of skimmed through the footage and now just thinking of a couple of cuts I can make, and then I'll build up from those couple ideas I had, and then make the story from there. I think I've got a track. So
Great. So did you pick the music first, or did you go pictures first?
I did the selects first, and then I choose the music, and now I'm good. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we'll leave you to it. Better get cracking. You're 30 minutes in.
And we might go and find Andrew now and get him to do the interview.
Yes, I think we're about to start
Here we go.
half-time entertainment. It was very interesting listening to them all. Like Angie here, she's paper cutted essentially, which I thought was really fun.
Yeah. Old-fashioned approach. No, I know.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would do, actually, I think. I'd paper cut it first. And then I was also wondering whether they might just put a bunch of rushes together and then try the 4 different tracks against it rather than... I mean, I would normally pick the track first, but you might just go, I'm going to peg out the narrative and then whack the music in and see which ones work.
Well, I think kind of it's always important, isn't it? Like, no matter what the tool is, that it's the idea behind it that's most important. So it'll be interesting to see what ideas they come up with. All right, let's go.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name's Andrew Brinsmead. Hi, hello! Shut up! The respect we get these days, I tell you. Yes. Yeah. Sally was going to intro us. Wasn't Sally going to intro us?
Oh, yeah.
Sally's gone. Okay. Hi. Hi, pleased to meet you. It's our great pleasure tonight to have Brad Hurt here with us. He's one of our leading music video editors. He's going to share a few thoughts on how he's come to be such a shit-hot music video editor. So briefly, Brad, can you tell us, how did you get into editing music videos? What's your background?
So I've always been interested in music videos through uni and stuff like that. I directed a couple of music videos and I kind of cut them, and then after I went to film school in Sydney, some of the directors that I worked with in film school wanted to make music videos, and from there we just kind of started making them.
And I have to ask, are you a musician?
I used to play the guitar, but not anymore.
Does your knowledge of playing guitar feed into your music video editing?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. It's a subconscious thing, isn't it?
Yeah, subconsciously, I guess. Like my cutting is very on rhythm and on the beats and stuff like that. So.
Do you work against the beat? Do you find things within the frame to work against or counterpoint?
Well, I think that's sometimes the best kind of editing in a music video. It kind of gives it a bit more of an interesting... Because if you're just cutting on the beat on music videos all the time, it kind of gets a bit boring.
So what do you look for when you're cutting a music video?
So I like, when I'm cutting music videos, to have the... So I'll cut like the rhythm and the music on the cut, but my main thing I always focus on is the actual rhythm in the actual shot itself. So I would like the way that the movement is in the frame, kind of cutting.
How much do you find that the directors plan for the editing in their coverage?
It really depends on what which director you're kind of working with. Some like to be very planned, and some just shoot a lot of stuff, and it's free for all in the edit.
And the directors who are very planned in their coverage, how often do you find that their plans translate through to your editing?
Certain projects, like say if it's like more of a drama-heavy edit, those things will kind of be more mapped out on for the edit.
And how do you get hired for music videos? Do you work with a group of directors, or do agencies approach you, or record labels?
So in Australia, it's more about the director-editor relationship.
So you're working with the same group of directors all the way through, are you?
Yeah, so I do have a bunch of directors that I work with, like continuing on the videos. But from those videos, I might get recommended on another job from the other directors. And
Cool. Do you have any tips on cutting a music video?
my main tip is about the rhythm. Kind of what I was saying before about a lot of music videos in Australia are kind of quite straightforward cuts. And if you look at the stuff that's getting cut overseas and stuff, a lot of it is more about the action in the frame as well as the cutting. So that's what I think if we focus more on that kind of stuff, it would help.
Cool. And where have music videos led your career as an editor?
So I freelance, and what I found is doing the music videos led me on to like more commercial work.
Yep. Commercial as in...
as like TVCs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And has it led to any other work, any drama work?
Not particularly the music videos, no.
No?
No. I've done other dramas, like low budget features and stuff, but I wouldn't say that the music video has a part of that. Yeah.
Do you find that with the music video editing styles that you can take that into other formats? There's tricks that you'd use for a music video that you might use in a documentary or drama?
I think as an editor, cutting music videos is probably one of the most satisfying projects that I edit, because with music videos you can make mistakes, and they might be good mistakes, but you couldn't normally kind of cut like this in, say, a drama or something.
Yeah, cool. How long do you normally get to cut a music video, say a 3 to 4 minute music video?
It really depends on the type of music video.
Yeah.
When I first started, it would take me a couple of weeks, and now it's maybe 3 days to 5 days, just depending on the type of project.
Cool. Any final thoughts on editing music videos?
No.
No. Okay. Great. Well, thanks for your time there, Brad. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if Gabriel Robinson could come up. Where's young Gabriel? He's run away. Oh, yeah, Brad.
Sorry.
Whilst we're finding our next sacrificial lamb, any questions for Brad? Come on, you all must want to know something. Yeah.
So I graduated film school in 2008, so it's, I don't know, 12 years now? Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions?
Excuse me. You in what subject that you going to uni for this editing?
So I have a master's at Afters, and that was just kind of editing, and I just kind of fell into cutting music videos for my love of the kind of craft.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
I get my inspiration from a lot of things, but I do watch a lot of music videos, especially the big kind of pop videos, or from a lot of like the big American clips. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite director?
Now you just put him on the spot. Yeah.
Is there any band that you'd really kill to make their music video?
Yeah, like I'm a bit of a die-hard Smashing Pumpkins fan, so that would be a dream.
Cool. Well, I hear Tool's just released a new album, so
12-minute cut.
yeah, be fun. Cool. Well, thanks for your time there, Brad. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cool. And now we have Mr. Gabriel Robinson, who was one of our contenders from last year. If you'd like to come up and join us. Thanks, Gabriel. So you were in the competition last year, yep?
Yes.
Yes. How did you find it?
Really nerve-wracking when you first start off. It's like you're just sitting there, and it's weird because like when you're waiting for the countdown to go down, and then when it finally goes, you don't run. You just kind of start clicking. So,
And
oh.
Was it a music video last year?
Yes, it was a Bollywood footage.
cool.
I can't remember what the song was, but the footage was very,
So what was your approach?
Every time I made a mistake, I had a sip of wine.
Okay.
Because...
So you were sober by the end of the evening?
Well, it helps with the confidence.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, that does actually help because you don't have time to be very precious about your cuts and about your selection of footage. So just be bold and just jump in and make something quick. And the more you drink, the more you're like, this is great, this is fine, move on.
So did you actually have a process, or was it just try anything?
Well, I tried watching it through, but I can't remember, I think there was like an hour worth of footage last year.
Yeah.
So you don't really have time to like sit back and enjoy.
There's
so
a fast forward button.
Yes. So you're kind of whipping through, and then you sort of take snippets and you go, okay, that's a good shot. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, he's waving a sword around. That'll look cool.
Cool.
And then you just kind of make a little bank of things, and then you quickly. So the trick is, if you find a track that you like, then you can kind of use that as a template, because you can listen to the track and then you can go, okay, that's a drop or that's a beat, and then you can kind of use that as your guide.
Cool.
And then just slot things in, and then before you know it, you've got a film and you're drunk.
Cool. Were you distracted by the crowd whilst you were editing, or were you with them at all?
I had some friends who came last year, and they kept like shoving pizza in my face, which really actually helped, but it was quite distracting.
Interesting approach. And what was the best thing about competing last year?
That's a good question. It's nice not to be too precious, I guess, because like usually if you're doing it for a job, you get really kind of stuck to the details about what you're doing, and you're like, oh my god, is this going to be good enough? But if it's just for fun, you can kind of go, okay, let's just do something crazy and just see what happens. And actually, that's when you come up with something that's surprising, because it's like, oh, I wouldn't have thought I could do that. But
so do you often get the chance to play with material like this?
No, well, not without repercussions, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Because usually it's a job, or usually it's for something, and you get quite, even if it's a personal project, you want it to be really good because it's mine.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, look, here's some footage, if you screw it up, it's fine, then you can kind of go, all right, let's see what we put together.
Cool. What do you think the competitors are thinking right now? They've been on the tools for about 3/4 of an hour?
Take a leak by this point. That's what we were doing. Everyone kind of kept crossing their legs last year.
No
It was like,
okay, right.
oh no, you've got no time.
Okay, cool. And finally, any tips for anybody thinking of applying for next year? Any tips to how to approach the process?
I think just be bold, and there is no such thing as a bad mistake or bad decision. It's just pick a good track. That's honestly my best advice. If you get a good song, it will make the track good.
Cool. Excellent. Well, thanks for your time there, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Cheers. Hey. Oh, that's it. Before we go, though, would anybody like to ask Gabriel some questions?
Please don't.
How long have you been editing?
Since I was 8, honestly. When I was a kid, I got a Lego studio set from my parents, and it came with like bundled editing stuff. So, yeah, whatever that would be. 20 years.
What's your favourite editing in a feature film?
Wow. Anything by Edgar Wright. Schumacher. Joel Schumacher. Who's Joel Schumacher?
Martin Scorsese's.
Oh my god. That
No
shows.
way.
No,
He's
I
almost had
would
a
have
good
said
one,
Edgar Wright. I love Edgar Wright's editing, because again, he's very musical. So he's really good at editing on beats. And Sally, from Tarantino. Yeah, she's always fantastic. Always fantastic.
Any other questions?
What platform do you edit on? What's that program?
Premiere. I started out on Final Cut 7 back when it was good, and then they made it into X, and then I jumped ship and did mostly Premiere, because I love doing After Effects as well. So it's very good for like dynamic linking and jumping back and forth. But Avid is good, but it's very, if you're watching Avid, it's very intimidating. The UI is very kind of like serious, and I like things that are colourful. I like being able to change the colour of my clips to like rose pink.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No? Thanks very much, Gabriel. Cheers.
Regular.
All right, we're about to do the. All right, we're about to do the lucky door prize. So, does everyone have their tickets? We're going to do it in a couple of minutes. So, make sure you have it handy. We're just going to do a bit of call around outside, and we shall get into it.
Lucky door prize.
All right. Don't know about you, but from my point of view, it's like, what is it in it for me? And this is our chance. All right, does everyone have a ticket?
Yeah, everybody.
If you
got a
don't,
ticket? It's your last opportunity to get one if you don't already have one. But you can't have two. Just saying.
Yes. Mr. John Barry to the stage, please. Our first prize comes courtesy of Adobe. John, do you want to give us a little bit of a sing out on what it is?
Who doesn't know what Creative Cloud is? Oh, it's not Creative Cloud. It's Door Prize. Ah, my bad. Okay. Who's seen this book before? Hands. Show hands. A few? You have? Okay. If you use the Adobe video applications and you haven't seen this book, this is the Bible of workflows and tricks and tips. It's been curated over many, many years.
It's fat.
Yes, it's very thick. So when you get this, you also get access to a digital copy. So you get a PDF so you can just search through it. But this is kind of something to stick next to the bed when you're late at night and just go, hey, flip through that. And then, it'll knock you out. No, this is a very good book. So
how long does it take to read?
I haven't gone through it end to end, so I don't know. But I think the value is like €90 for the book. So it's not a cheap book. But yeah.
It's $54.99 US.
I don't know either. Okay, so do I draw it as well? Okay, all right, okay. Who wants to win it? Show me. You got to put some energy into this. Woo! All right, let's see if the shirt is providing enough energy for that person who was loudest. It's a purple. B. Oh, some people have dropped out. 35. You don't know if okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My object's taken.
Hi. Congratulations.
You also get a commemorative Adobe Cup, which I have not seen.
I thought the cup was the polystyrene.
Oh my god, this is so funny.
All right, what's the background we got? Okay. All right.
A bunch of editors making decisions.
It's not moving anymore. I think it's dead.
Okay, so I think it's still working. So now, in reverse order, it's prize number 3, which is a Wacom Intuos Pro small tablet, courtesy of Wacom. And Leo Scenario, will you come up? Is that how you pronounce your surname, Leo? Scenario, yeah. So this is Leo from Wacom, and he might want to say a few words too.
Prize? Who wants to win it? Hey! All right. Drum roll. Ching. It's a purple. It's a B. It's B10. B10. Purple B10. Whoa! Wally winner. Congratulations. All right, there you go.
All right. Our next prize, Da Vinci Resolve Studio, courtesy of Black Magic. ASC President Fiona Strain is going to come draw it. Oh, that's a big one.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
small compared to the book.
Can I speak? Yes. So Black Magic, who are providing this, have just recently come on board as a sponsor. So this is a wonderful prize for everybody. Okay. I better hide my ticket. I'll just put it in there. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Golly gosh, it's a purple B. B, where was 35 sitting? B 34. How can you can't have two tickets? No, you can't have two tickets. Okay. That's amazing. Yeah, that one's scrumpled up. Good, it's all gone. Okay,
Controversy
second
at
choice.
Royale.
Okay. Okay, just put that there. Okay. All right. One ticket, one. Okay. Oh, you're kidding. Who shuffled this deck? Okay, B33. You don't have that one too. Congratulations, yay!
So this is Big Fat Prize number 1, which is 1 year subscription to Boris Continuum, Sapphire and Mocha plugin bundle valued at $1,950. Compliments of Boris FX and Digistore. So Mark, over to you.
Yeah, so this plug-in set, effect set, plugs into basically any platform. So whether you're using Premiere or Avid, it doesn't really matter. It's the whole complete set. So we'll draw it now. Push him around. 35. Okay, it's actually B1.
Woohoo! That is amazing.
B1, there he is.
Yay! Woohoo!
Congratulations.
I might just have to interview you.
Well, I have it under good knowledge that more pizzas have arrived. So if you're hungry, go out, get there, and we will continue with the Royale in a minute.
Yeah. Can we? We'll come back and interview later. We're going to check in with our editors again to see how they're going with 45 minutes. to
Less
go
now.
on the clock.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. So we'll head over this way. We'll do it in reverse this time. Excuse me, guys. We're just going to check in. Get them all panicky. Hi, Alex. We're just checking in with 40 minutes to go to ask you how you think you're going.
No, I think I've got a story, and I'm just going back to select and just seeing if I actually got the right shots for it. And just trying stuff now.
So you've covered most of the music track. You haven't got any black patches in there.
No, I've covered everything. The points, I think, sort of makes sense, I hope. But yeah, and now I'm just going back and seeing what else I can do to make it better, I guess.
Good luck. Thank you very much. Do you need any more pizza? Okay.
All right, we also have Emily. How you've got 40 minutes to go. Don't want to freak you out. How's it all going?
Yeah, good. I think I've sort of got the pacing right now, so it's just filling in the rest. Like I've got it pretty clearly visualised in my head for the rest of it, so I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. 40 minutes is ages.
How would you describe the edit that you're doing right now?
It's pretty basic in terms of the actual cuts. Like there's not too much in terms of visual effects or anything like that. I think it's just more about like the interlacing of the two sort of like segments of the story, I guess.
Yeah, right. So I don't know what the footage is. So there's two stories, is there?
Yeah, well, there's two parts of the one story, but like two different timelines, and it's just sort of pushing them together.
Right. Well, I look forward to see how you mash it all together.
Thanks.
Keep cracking.
Hey, and how are you going? Do you think?
Pretty feeling well. Pretty well. Yeah, just like the last 45 minutes, just like really finessing and perfecting like each cut and each transition into the next like scene that I've planned out. So just hope it all comes together well in the end.
And you've covered your music track from beginning to end now, so it's just...
Yeah, so I've done that just off the music track, so now I'm putting it into the music track and finding the nice rhythm and beat to actually give it to them. So yeah, I guess it's not overlaid with the music yet, but I know exactly what I want to see, so just making that happen.
So that's interesting. So you cut it first without the music, and then now you're... That's really good. Really good.
I guess to me, like the music, you can put any music on. At the end of the day, what you're trying to find is the right story and the right way of telling that story. So I think that was the most important part to me, was just getting this little girl's like story out there. Oh wait, no one's seen the rushes yet, so you don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah.
We know there's a little girl and that she gets strong, so that's good. Good luck. All right.
So, yes, congratulations.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Lily. How's it all going on your end?
It's going really well. Yeah, I feel like I've got my timeline together now, and so now I'm just kind of finishing the story, finding different parts that work, and yeah, just finishing cut points and stuff. And I feel like I've finally got it blocked out, which is really good.
How would you describe this edit that you've done, or the story?
I've tried to make it not linear in parts, but I think it's a pretty clear structure, focusing on the little girl. Is that answering your question? Or?
Yeah, I guess so. It'll be interesting because is there like two parallel narratives to it, or?
I'm trying to kind of parallel the fighter at the end with the little girl, pair those two together. Hopefully I can pull it off.
Yeah, right. Oh, I look forward to seeing the dynamic jumps.
Stephen,
Hi.
your turn now. How are you going?
Yeah, pretty good. I've got most of my chosen music track blocked out. I've kind of tried to limit myself to a certain proportion of rushes so that I can kind of squeeze some element of creativity out of my cut tonight. So hopefully it gets well received. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, you've got 35 minutes to go, so do you think I should stop talking to you now, or do you want to tell me your life story?
So we've only got 2 hours.
Yeah. Off you go.
It's all in the bag. It's all in the bag. All right.
How do you think they're all going?
I think they're all pretty cool and relaxed.
Yeah.
I think for me, Angie's technique is really interesting because she actually forgot about music to begin with. She just mapped out her story just with the pictures.
Yeah, right.
So she did a paper edit and then mapped out the story just with the pictures, and now she's kind of retrofitting the story to the music, which I think is really good.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because I don't know any of the footage, and it's just interesting. It'll be interesting to see what this narrative is. Apparently, there's two parts that you can kind of cut together. I always found intercutting stuff is always the most challenging, always the most time-consuming because there's so many options. The possibilities is quite.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, so we didn't ask whether they were given, when they were given the rushes, whether they were given the rushes in an order of the narrative as well, because actually that would have made it much quicker, the whole thing, because I think there is a narrative story of, we've been told, I don't know whether we're allowed to reveal it, little girl gets bullied and becomes, so it's a kind of female empowerment story.
Yeah, right.
So
It'll be interesting to see if
pans out.
everyone does that same story or if they change it.
Yep.
And how it's different.
Yep.
You know, kind of. As I remember back in my film school days, we all had like the same footage, and we had to make a little documentary out of it, all these different editors, and it was really interesting how different they all were.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see how the narrative changes with each of these 5 editors.
Well, that's what all editors say, and that's what's so brilliant about this. It's such a rare thing because you always say it will be a completely different film with a different editor. So actually, we're
and
seeing
that's
it play
why
out.
we need to get paid so much money.
You're right. So
yes.
should we?
Yeah, well, you've got the
wait.
story point of view, but then you've also got the technical aspect of how this night's running. Our cameraman's gone rogue. Yeah. We're going to go talk to the tech boys. So from Digistore here, we have Greg and we have Tim, who are kind of making this whole live stream thing happen. For the layperson, I see this very complicated diagram. Like, how does this all work?
Oh, well, it's a very good question, I guess. Originally we were scoped, we wanted 5 editors, we wanted them all to be able to be recorded through this, camera going around, NCs like you, and streaming all that out. So yeah, we sort of looked at what we had around the workshop, and sort of Blackmagic, okay, 4 HDMI inputs, a few SDIs, we can start making this work.
Yes. But you, what's the challenges here? Because I see like one computer's on its own, kind of.
Yeah. Well, there's several challenges. Like with HDMI, you've got a distance you can run before the signal starts falling apart.
Right.
So all of this has to be fairly short. With HDMI to SDI converters, you can run into HDCP compliance problems. So you have to find something that gets around all of that. I guess it's getting pretty technical.
What is the compliance thing? Is that?
It's basically things like Foxtel and that.
Yeah.
To make sure you can't actually rebroadcast their content.
Yeah, right.
Essentially, so yeah, we have to go with this particular converter for that. And then after we got it all in here, I'm like, how the hell do I get all these cables around here without everyone tripping over stuff everywhere? So and yeah, after that, it's like, all right, need some sort of eye candy for the people for multi-view, like the display thing over there. And,
Yes. So we've got 3 monitors out.
Yeah. So the multi-view that everyone sees over there, that's basically the same as what we're seeing here. And then the 2 screens at either end, that's a program out, and that's what everyone's seeing live from there.
Yeah, right. And how long would it take you to like design and set something like this up?
Well, geez, the first year it took a fair while.
Yeah.
I've got to say, but we've sort of sweetened it up each year. It's become a little bit more efficient, I guess. But yeah, this still took 2 days just to set this room up, and then a bit more time just setting up all the Macs, boot camping into PC, and then trying to recompose and get all your audio, video routing. It's a bit of work, but
and
it's a
for
lot of
those
fun,
who
but,
are unfamiliar with Digistore, is this something that you guys do a lot of, or?
Well, it's this side of it, not so much, but it is a skill that we have. We do a lot more with sort of SAN solutions, to sort of do installs for Foxtel's, MTVs, Disney channels.
Yeah, right.
All that sort of stuff. And we're getting into the advertising agencies and a little bit into the architecture and design space as well as demand for our services.
Yeah. As you find you go into ad agencies, like what's like the number one thing you see that everyone's doing wrong? That is like your first order of business to fix.
I don't know. The ad agencies are pretty good. I
Yeah.
guess. It's some of the other places which go out and do their own shoots. You know, like I don't know. For example, MTV. They're very good friends. I'm not knocking them in any way, but you know, they'll go out and shoot a whole lot of content, but it's all in different formats.
Yeah, right.
And then you're giving it to an editing application. It's got to read, you know, 6 different languages.
Yes.
That gets hard. I was just chatting with Tim about this earlier.
Yeah.
You know, Avid is a bit more locked down in that respect.
Yeah.
It's got to be 25 frames.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got your Premiere Pros and Resolve. They're a bit more agnostic.
Well, I find sometimes with the technology, like the technology can handle it so much better now than it used to, like 10 years ago. But I actually sometimes find that almost becomes a hindrance. Because now everyone's like, oh, I can put this in and that in and that in. And then there's so many times there's no plan for it.
That's pretty well what I was leading to.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost a skill that's becoming a bit more of a background thing.
Yeah. So do you guys like prefer to come in then before the shoot and kind of work it out before they make the mess?
Yeah, well, we try to, you know, if it's a client, if we see the problems from one time, we'll sort of narrow down where the problems are and give them solutions if there's a better way to do it next time, or ways to get through. It's working. So I don't know, it does look like a complicated setup, but you know, pretty well you could just have two of these monitors, two HDMI into there, and you can be streaming off them there quite easily.
Yeah, right. Well, that's very illuminating. Cheers, Greg. How are you finding Tim switching?
Good. Nice. I'm having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got myself. Obviously, it's nice to be able to have control and just switch between different editors at different times. So we're switching now between all the 5 editors and back to us. And
so you're probably watching all 5 editors the closest.
Yes.
Who's your pick?
I couldn't really pick based on their workflow. It's too hard. I mean, it's too hard to know what they're doing with the sound.
Yeah.
I noticed that Lily and Angie are very organised in the way that they do things. Not to say that the others aren't, but they're particularly organised in their colour coding and their markers. So I wonder how that will reflect in the edit. So if we look at Angie, for example, you can see a lot of colours there. Whereas Lily, she's got a lot of markers. So you can see the colours and the markers. Funny they're using 2 different pieces of software, yet they're both the most organised. You know, I think Alexandra is using a lot of effects, which is really interesting.
Yeah, right. Has he done a grade on it?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. But he's definitely used a lot of effects. And Stephen, I think, is the dark horse.
The dark horse, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he knows what he's doing, but he's not really showing... He's not really trying to show us too much behind the scenes. I think any adjustment he's made has been quiet. There's one, if we can sneak one in there. And Emily as well, if I go to her camera. Emily's got an interesting setup. It seems that she's got selects set out at the end of a music track. So she's obviously using those selects and dragging them in and choosing, using Avid Smart Tools a lot. So
yeah. So it seems like it's 2 approaches. You got the chaotic approach where you just kind of bash it together and like see what comes out, and then you've got the very organised approach. If you were editing this, what would you do?
Good question. I think I'd probably start with some sort of select sequence based off like a story that I want to tell.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'd purely just go with like a separate sequence and just call it selects, and then I'd only cut from anything I have in that select sequence. And from there, I'd hopefully find shots that I think work nicely and music tracks that work well. So I don't really know. I mean, I think I'd have to be in the position to really know what I do, but everyone seems to have it under control pretty nicely at this point.
Well, I think we all look forward to seeing what comes from them in the end. But cheers. There is 25 minutes left to go. So we have Mark from Digistore, who's going to explain to Nicholas what the hell Boris Continuum, Sapphire, and Mocha Pro are.
So Boris Effects has been around for a long time. They started out developing plugins for Adobe Premiere for special effects. I remember speaking to Boris Yamimsky, who's the founder, about 20 years ago, and he was boasting because he had managed to create a plugin which created a cube in Premiere with 4 motion tracks with video on every side that moved in a 3D space where the code size was larger than Adobe Premiere itself. So as a technical programmer, that was his achievement. So Boris Effects was a range of plugins that extended the special effects capabilities from transitions to multi-layering to lighting to compositing to chroma keying and those sorts of things. And it's been growing all the time and getting more capabilities in it. So that's originally Boris Effects. Then Continuum is an extension of that, and it's been getting more and more acceptance in that sort of motion graphics special effects range. Mocha Pro you knew about, so
I'm really looking forward to doing some motion tracking with that.
Yes.
Really seeing how far I can push it.
Yep.
I have a little bit of experience with it, but I've never been able to use the latest version. So
Yep.
It's been a couple of years since I used it. So
Yeah. So and it's been recently upgraded as well. So and then Sapphire was previously owned by a company called GenArts, and Boris Effects bought GenArts and moved it into the same family as well. So the Sapphire range of plugins were very well known in the motion graphics, broadcast title sequences, and those sorts of things in that space, and very well respected in the creative motion graphics space. And they've brought it under their same umbrella as well. So it's a range of plugins for special effects for achieving more sophisticated effects than you would with the native applications themselves, whether that's Premiere or Media Composer. So it plugs into both of those.
sophisticated effects for a sophisticated man.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
We haven't spoken to you tonight, have we? No. You've also competed at the Royale.
Yes, that was the first one.
Yes.
Just back a couple of feet, catch the light.
So Nicholas was at the very first Edit Royale 2 years ago.
Yes.
How do you think the contestants are going?
They appear to be going very well. They all seem calm. I haven't seen any tears yet, so.
What did you, after having done it, what kind of tips would you have given them?
At
the beginning.
Stay calm, which they seem to be doing. Be methodical.
Yeah.
Don't overreach and overcomplicate it too quickly.
Yes.
Start out basic and see how far you can push it. Sort of in the last sort of second half. I think editors, we sometimes have a tendency to
be a bit
jump
too
out of the
ambitious.
stalls
Yeah.
a bit too fast sometimes. And I think given the very real-time constraints, it's a great exercise because real world, you don't have forever to cut.
Well, I think it's really interesting. There appears to be 2 different styles of editing. So there seems to be a couple of the contestants are very methodical about like how they are approaching it all, and then there are a few that are quite chaotic, and then just kind of like bashing it together and seeing what kind of comes.
More experimental.
What would be your approach?
I would like to think that I'm methodical, but I know, sometimes it can get a little bit frantic in the edit booth. So, certainly, experienced both before. But,
I think I would probably personally do a bit of both.
Yeah.
I would probably start off with a very big plan. Like one of the editors has done like a paper edit kind
Yeah.
of at the beginning, like
Yep.
not even touching the tools.
Yep.
The thing I really love about that is it just goes to speak like editing is more than just an editing program.
Yeah.
And it's much quicker to experiment and work out ideas kind of on paper before you even get to the cut.
Shows a lot of restraint to do something like
But
that.
then I think I would then also want to mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
And then find the chaos, find the happy accidents, kind of find stuff that brings it alive.
Yeah.
It's not so formulaic.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And the most time-consuming part of editing is going through all the material that you have at your disposal. And so I think as long as they've seen everything that there is to see in their bins and they've chosen the track that speaks to them the most, and the rest is just storytelling.
Yeah. And what kind of stuff do you work on?
I work mostly in sports media at the moment. I freelance around. Just bit of shooting, bit of editing, corporate.
Yeah, right. So you do
Music video
a bit of everything. How do you find all that balancing? Like, do you edit the stuff that you shoot, or
sometimes yes, sometimes no.
do you growl at yourself?
I think all editors should have a go at shooting. I think all shooters should have a go at editing.
Yes.
It can only strengthen you in both aspects.
Yes, I feel like I'm constantly just screaming at camera operators, like, hold it still, like our current camera operator.
They're people too, you just have to remember that.
Oh, it's always hard, like they're always in freezing cold and we're just sitting at our desks, so it's kind of, or standing. Yeah.
I was just going to say, we're all part of the same team, so we all have to be nice
all
to each
working
other.
together, or so we hope. Now, one of the other prizes was Wacom.
Yeah.
Are you a Wacom man or a mouse man?
I love Wacom. It's a fantastic product. Please send me any Wacom products my way. Checks in the mail, I'm sure. But we use Wacom at home and in the office as well. So
yeah,
they're great. I don't personally edit with one, but I know people who do.
Yes, I used to edit with the Wacom, and I really loved it, especially with Avid, because I'm a real keyboard editor.
Yeah.
But I really love for when you are using a mouse, it becomes really dynamic. That you really like.
Yeah.
Get to move in there and almost like dancing. So that was kind of really fun.
No, that's a great prize.
But then I think I was too vigorous and I injured myself. So I am now, unfortunately, destined to the mouse. But thank you very much,
worries.
Nicholas. And
Thanks for having me.
we have 15 minutes to go. So very good.
Let me just check my watch. We've got 15 minutes to go, and we're now going to talk to the winner. I've forgotten your name again, Marlena. Marlena, who won 2 years ago. If you could, I don't know whether you can remember how you felt.
I do. I feel it now. I'm getting like, oh, sorry. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't think I'm going to finish this. I had my producer, who I work with, who was here supporting me, and she just sat with me and she's like, you can do it, just chuck everything down and then cut it. And then after it, I just was so like hyped, and I came out and I just spoke to the first person who was there, and it was Fiona, and I was just like, oh my god, and she was so nice, and then realised who she was.
And I wonder whether do you remember, do they show them all? Because I'm worried that if like somebody really likes the first one, there's a really big clap, but they like the second one even more, they just have to clap louder. Was it a clapometer the first year?
No, it wasn't. It was just, it was just testing the waters. I'm pretty sure they played all of them, and then we clapped. I think that's what we did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Because it's already stressing me out that, how loud are people going to have to get, I think. So I don't
Bring a
think-
big crowd if you want to compete next year.
I don't think anybody's got their producer there this year. So is it really helpful having your producer sitting by your side?
Yeah, it was good to have someone just like giving you that confidence and saying like, you can do it. Like, yeah.
And did you go and celebrate afterwards? What did you do?
I did. No, I did. I came home and my mum's like, let me know if you, like, how you went. And then she didn't hear from me for a while. And then she's like, I don't think you went well because I haven't heard from you. But yeah, I brought my own keyboard on that day. So it was, it was fun.
Okay. That's actually, I wonder whether those guys have brought their own Maybe they bought their own tablets and things next door.
Yeah, I think I did see someone there. Yeah, it was handy. I brought my own settings as well, which saved time. Because, your shortcuts and stuff like that. Yeah, I can't wait to watch them all.
Okay, well, maybe we should head back in. Thank
Yes.
you. All right, bye.
All right, we have 90 seconds to go. Whoa. I see some tools down. We've got 2 still going. Better make your final changes. Clock is ticking. No pressure, but everyone's watching you. 30 seconds. We got 10, 9. Oh, we don't even need a countdown. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are done. Big round of applause. Big round of applause. Well, we're just going to give everyone a chance to catch their breath, and then we're going to play them all. So if we all want to move over to the big screen, and we'll
play them. Yeah. We're going to play them all one after the other, and with a little clap in between. But we're going to ask you to remember your favourite, so that at the very end, we will just say the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got to clap and adjust your claps accordingly. Hey, I'll repeat that one more time just before we start.
Sounds good.
And while we've got everybody here, I just want to have a little hands up. How many people here are not members of the ASC? 2, 3, 4? There's a few. There you go. If you have enjoyed tonight, we have done this for the last 3 years. We also have lots of events for editors. We try and put on events that you want to know about. We put on events that are just movie nights where you can come and watch movies and talk editing. We have awards where you can win an award for editing. We have technical evenings where you can come and learn about cutting music for reality TV, or you can learn about a particular platform. We have lots of courses. We partner up with TAFE, and last year they ran a course for us on all the ins and outs of assisting, comparing, and also the technicalities of working not just on Avid, but on Avid and Premiere. So we did a comparison course. So how do you do this on Avid? This way. How do you do it on Premiere? That way. We had 2 screens running at the same time. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of people learned a lot. So they're the kind of things we do. We do stuff that you ask for. So in terms of if you want to upscale your career or switch from one career to another, we have mentorships, we have a whole lot of stuff. So if you want to join, grab one of these cards. We'd love to have you on board because we love seeing you. It's hard for editors to kind of chat to each other outside the job sometimes. So we're here to help and be with you. And as I say, we do things you want. That's it.
Okay, so now it's time to go. Okay, so we're just going to explain the rules for the end of the night. We're going to play them in the order of the man who finished editing last, Stevens. We're going to play his first. And we're going to play them all, one after the other, and you can just clap generally, but I'd ask you to remember which one is your favourite. And then at the end, we won't show them again, but we'll just say number 1, Stevens, and then you can clap and adjust your clapping accordingly because the clapometer decides the winner. And I think you're going to be able to see it on all 3 of the screens. So, okay. And on this, no, not on this one though.
It'll be on there a bit.
Yeah. Do we want to dim the lights or?
Oh, is that too technical?
Bottom one.
Now, so drum roll, Stephen. Have you got your glass of wine? Because we're just about to show yours.
Do you want to make a comment before we play?
Me? Well, I'm not just bringing a glass of wine to this viewing, I'm bringing a whole bottle. I feel I've earned it. Actually, yeah, it feels like I've raced to a viewing, which I did today and I did again tonight. I hope you enjoy it.
All right.
This is
Let's roll.
So, Stephen Love.
They talking about me cause they never been relevant. Haters will copy, but I'm never done stunting trick. Watch when I walk into a room, it gets lit. And since we talking about my girl, I drop a couple of hits. I look good in that grind, and I grind. Come for mine, why you trying, I look good, and I grind, Come for mine, why you trying, Where my ladies who be stacking that paper? Where my ladies who be stacking that paper? Spit your game, show you got driving that paper. Get it, girl, don't lose all of your paper. Get it, girl, don't lose all of your paper. No.
All right. Well done, Stephen. All right, number 2, Lily. How would you like to intro this masterpiece?
I just hope everyone enjoys it. I had a lot of fun cutting it. I think that's all I've got to say.
All right. Roll tape. Two very different edits. Angie, you are next.
I feel like I got different music to everyone. But no, benefit for me because it definitely fit my style. So I'm really happy with what I got.
So very different from the...
It feels quite different, yeah. At least my options felt like that. Very much to like who I am. So whoever chose the music, thank you. Absolute pleasure for me.
All right, let's see another side of Angie.
Down softly, just say you're gonna leave. Hold my head on the water, keep telling me to breathe. You sell me your sorrow, but I don't wanna pay. Don't tell me that tomorrow is just another day. Ooh.
Number 4, Emily. How do you feel? How does yours compare to the previous 3?
I think, like Ange said, they're all sort of different in their own way, which is good. Yeah, I was pretty happy with mine. I think after a long day of work of cutting, I was like, hell yeah, I'm excited to cut some more. But so we'll see if that reflects that, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
All right. Well, let's give it a go.
She bet she knew it, don't hesitate to show it. Only wish you were with those queen vibes. Taking no prisoners, thinking that you could bid on the boy. You in for a hell of a surprise. She got the world at her fingertips, crushing them pies between the lips, and you ain't gonna get your love. She just be hustling, money tree, cause she wanna win. Tough is not gonna do you no good.
Very good, very good. And last but not least, Alexandre. How did you fare?
I don't know, so interesting seeing everyone else's before, just makes me regret a lot of decisions. But no pressure. But no, so it's really interesting. I was super interested to see what would people leave out of the edit. There are like so many options that you could go through. And just, yeah, anyway, so interesting. Cool.
No, all very different, and I'm sure this will be the same. Well, there you go. You've seen all 5 videos. So, we're now going to have a clap off. We're going to go through them in the order that we saw it in. Cheer for your favourite. We all good? All right. So, first off the ranks, Stephen, how did we feel?
Give it up, give it up!
Number 2, we had Lily. Number 3, Angie. Emily. Oh, hold on. No. Emily. And Alexandre. Alrighty, who's the adjudicator of this?
Do you think we should do a hands up, or was there a clear winner there? I don't know. Does anybody hear a clear winner? Where's Danielle? Where's the one who runs it? What do we think?
Can we try again? Sorry. Can we try again? Can everyone think about their favourite and really make sure that that's clear? Because I have to say, in the 2 previous years, there's been a clear winner. This time it felt like it was very close. So let's try again with the claps first. And then see how that goes.
All right, we're going to do another round. All right, just to tease this out, we're not going home until we have a winner. All right. Mr. Stephen, how did we feel? Miss Lily. Angie. Oh, Angie. You're not Emily. Emily. And Alexandre. Okay, we have a tie. We're going to do a final cheer off between Angie and Emily. Yes. All right. At the same time. Oh. Angie. And Emily. Oh, Emily. All right. The winner is Emily. All right. Where are these prizes? Good.
The system is very scientific. There's no problems here. As you said, it's very scientific. I tried to bring more around. Yeah, I didn't go into training and gym. Did right. Keep it down.
Okay, so we're going to present the prize to the winner right now. So Emily is going to get this incredible trophy. But in addition to that, Emily gets 2 tickets to the Emmys, 12-month subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud and Avid Media Composer, DaVinci Resolve Studio and Swag, and the other 4 will also get a prize bag, is what it says on here. So well done. The other prize bag has DaVinci Resolve Studio and Swag. Not sure whether it's got Premiere, but it's definitely got those things. Okay, that was just your prize. Yeah.
Okay, well, Emily.
Well done.
Congratulations. Beautiful.
think what everyone's responding to, not just beautiful cuts and beautiful pictures, but rhythm storytelling. You know, you had an arc in there and it was lovely. So congratulations. Thanks so much. Okay.
Well, let's get all the competitors up here.
Stephen, want to come up and get your prize? Woohoo! Congratulations, Stephen. Congratulations, Lily. Just drop them all on the floor. There you go. Congratulations, Alessandra. And close runner-up.
Up here. We've got to get a photo.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Stephen.
Can I just have you all looking over here?
Congratulations, guys.
Stephen.
Woohoo!
And could I just get Mark and Fiona and our hosts up there as well for a photograph, please? No, sorry, with you. With you. Everybody together. Everybody. Yes, exactly. That's great. Thank you. Okay. And Alex, can you just lean? Yeah, that's perfect. That's it. Scott. Thank you.
And I think that's bringing the evening to a close, but just before you head off, we've got a whole bunch of really important sponsors and people to thank. So, first of all, we'd love to thank Mark, Greg, and the whole team at Digistore. I think it's the third year that you've sponsored us, so thank you very, very much. We'll be back next year, I think, hopefully. I'd like to thank Karen Eastmuir Avid, John Barry Adobe, and our newest sponsor, Mel Atherton from Blackmagic Design, for their generous prize contributions. Thank you, Ollie, in the room. Thank you. Ruth Tamzin and Sophia Audio Network for providing the music tracks and prizes for the competitors. So thank you, those guys. Heidi Tobin at Videocraft for the camera, which has been a heavy weight on our cameraman's shoulder all night long. Boris FX and Digistore for their Lucky Door prizes or prize. Thank you, Leo Serio at Wacom Australia for the Wacom tablet. Andrew Brinsmead for his half-time entertainment with Gabriel and Brad. Thank you very much for entertaining us at half-time. 2 or 3 more. Lawrence Lim and Tribal Apes for allowing us to use their footage, which was fantastic. Great to see all that come together. And Timothy Hadwen for volunteering as switch assistant. Last but not least, thank you very much.
Actually, there is one more person, and that is Danielle, who this night would not have been possible. So, massive round of applause for her.
Thank you. See you next year.
Oh, before you go, if you want, there's an Avid mug for you to grab. There's some Digistore mouse mats. They're a limited supply, so you will have to fight to get them. And if you have drunk too much, please don't drive home.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
And we're done!